Washington, D.C. June 5th, 2025. In their first high-stakes meeting since the German elections, President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz put on a show of unity Thursday. But the rift over the ongoing war in Ukraine quietly underpinned their public remarks. Seated together in the Oval Office, Merz carefully avoided confrontation and opened the meeting with warm praise for the American president. "He is the key person in the world who can really end this war," Merz told reporters, referencing Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He urged Trump to use his influence to pressure Moscow into peace. The German leader's diplomatic tone seemed aimed at diffusing what could have been a tense exchange. Just months earlier, Merz had publicly suggested Europe must reduce its dependency on the United States, a stance prompted by what he viewed as Washington's increasingly adversarial approach toward European allies. Trump responded in kind. At first, he called Merz a very good man to deal with, and expressed optimism about a future trade deal with the European Union. But as the discussion turned to Ukraine, Trump diverged sharply from his guest, suggesting that continued conflict might be useful. All of a sudden, there was this drone strike, Trump said, referring to Ukraine's recent attack that reportedly destroyed a third of Russia's long-range bombers. Trump expressed sympathy for Russian President Vladimir Putin, stating, "He's unhappy about it. I'm unhappy about it." Rather than echo Merz's call for stronger pressure on the Kremlin, Trump floated an analogy that stunned observers. It's like two young children fighting. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart. Trump said he had shared the same sentiment directly with Putin in a phone call the previous day. Despite the daylight between their views, Merz held his diplomatic line. When reminded that Friday marked the 81st anniversary of the D-Day invasion, Merz acknowledged Germany's dark past under the Nazi regime and affirmed his nation's gratitude. "This was the liberation of my country." In the meeting's final moments, Merz gently pressed for more U.S. action, stating, "We are looking for more pressure on Russia, and we should talk about that." But Trump showed no appetite for additional sanctions. He dismissed legislation introduced by Senator Lindsey Graham that would intensify penalties against Moscow, calling it a very harsh bill and claiming he had not reviewed it. He even floated the idea of sanctioning both Russia and Ukraine if peace efforts fail. "When I see the moment when it's not going to stop will be very tough," Trump said, "and it could be on both countries." Chancellor Merz, asked whether he agreed with Trump's children fighting analogy, sidestepped the question, stating only that both leaders agree on the need to end the war. For now, Trump and Merz have avoided a diplomatic blow-up, but the distance between their visions for Europe's future and the path to peace remains stark.